Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason live on this Monday. So 1 week away. 4th of July quickly upon us. We're wrapping up June. 6 months. 6 months already gone. The year is half over. Just big congratulations to the radio station, Tammy Garcia. The Signature Health Summit was held this weekend. Dr. Peter McCullough, that's right, Dr. Peter McCullough was one of the guest speakers coming to you live there on the Front Range. It was so packed, and I'm just so happy about people getting all of the right information. They ran out of chairs. It was standing room only for Dr. Peter McCullough this weekend. And I know that the radio station, Tammy, Signature, we're going to be doing more of these events in the future. But a big shout out to Tammy and Jason and her family for just a fantastic event. Like I said, getting people like Dr. Peter McCullough to come to the Front Range, an absolute huge accomplishment. So congratulations to those folks. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website, allamericangold.com. And this Monday, next Monday, we will be closed. My wife and I, my younger son, we're going to actually go see our older son, Joey, who's with us today. Of course, Joey works at the Chicago office for Northwestern Mutual. And I'm going to tell you, and I've been telling you want to keep messing around, that's up to you. You want to, I had a friend of mine, and I call him a friend because he's been a customer of Patriot for, like 2 decades. And he was telling me how his financial advisor had lost him, his 401ks, his IRA. He had a 401k from a previous job, another 401k. Long story short, he had $750,000 in that 401k in beginning of 2001. He now has a little over 500. So this guy loses him $250,000, and he's just like, man, I got to do something. I'm like, man, you should have done something way before that. Think about it this way. Most of these financial advisors, they're not even your friend, right? You don't invite them over, right? Hey, I'm having a party this week. Come over to my house, right? It's just some guy, who knows, some random guy that somebody said, hey, call this guy. But think about if you gave a buddy, a friend, I don't know, you lent them $10,000, and the guy never pays you back, right? You're probably not friends anymore. Your financial advisor loses you 20, 30% of your money. You need to find a new financial advisor. And I've been with the guy for years. I don't care. Hey, unless he called you up and said, hey, by the way, you if we don't make any changes, you're going to lose 25% of your money. And you say, okay, well, then that's on you. But if the guy loses you 20% of your money, what are you doing? I don't care how long you've been. You lend your best friend $10,000 and he stiffs you. He ain't your best friend anymore. And it's amazing how unproactive people are when it comes to their financial well-being. And again, I think it's because, Joey, most people are just like, it's too complicated. I don't understand it. And of course, you know what? The other part about it is they're out there, and the guy's buying Target stock and buying Walmart stock and all these companies that most of these people, I don't want to invest in these companies. I don't want to buy Anheuser-Busch, but that's why you're different.
Exactly. It's why we're different. And, 99% of Americans know they need a financial planner. Half of them will end up working with one. And what I would say to everyone that hasn't called or they've been meaning to call is let's not put this on the back burner and live with regret the next 5 years, next 10 years. Oh, wait, can you guys hear me well, or do I need to call back?
Go ahead,
Joey,
it just got better. Joey, it just got better.
It's fixed? Okay, good. But what I would say to everyone is finances are probably going to be the most important thing of your life when you enter retirement. Can you work? Can you live without having to work and getting an income, or do you have to go back to Walmart and work as a greeter? We're helping all of our clients just find out exactly where they're at and helping them implement ideas to get to where they want to be. And that can happen investment-wise. It can happen tax strategy-wise. It can be us connecting you with estate planning attorneys. It can be helping you with life insurance planning as you get married and have kids, wanting to settle for long-term care. I want to emphasize to everyone listening that this is going to be an easy conversation. It might feel uncomfortable at first. You're like, oh, I don't want to unbutton myself, undress myself per se, and share what accounts I have, or maybe I feel like I haven't been a good saver and I really haven't put any money in my 401k or set anything aside. That is okay. What matters is that we get a plan in place and we start planning for our future, regardless of how late we are or how late we think we are or how we think, oh, retirement is not possible. Let's get a plan in place to make sure it is.
All right, we're going to try to clean up this audio. We'll be right back with Joey right after the break. Eight 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Monday. We've got my son Joey with us, Northwestern Mutual, the best non-banking financial company in the world. And that's my humble opinion and backed up by most people in the finance world. They're not a bank. They're not publicly traded. They're not tied to Wall Street. They have your conservative values at heart with them, and they want your opinion. Hey, if you don't want to buy Anheuser-Busch, Joey, you're not buying Anheuser-Busch.
Or you don't want
I don't know that we've got it worked out. There we go. All right, you're back, Joey. We just heard you. No, you're good now.
Is it working now?
Yep.
We are? Yeah. So we are not individual stock
Go ahead,
pickers.
Joey.
You don't want to invest in Target. You don't want to invest in Anheuser-Busch. We won't do that, right? But I don't know if you heard me before, but what I emphasize to everyone is, yes, talking about the finances to some people can feel uncomfortable. Feel like you're getting financially undressed, and you're like, oh, are they going to judge me? I don't think I've done a good job of saving for my future. But what I would emphasize to you is 9 times out of 10, we still have a ton of time left to get you to where you want to be. And we come in as that helpful hand, not to criticize, but to educate you on what we can do now and in the future to get to where you want to be. And to anyone that's feeling uncomfortable in the financial market situation, they don't know how they're tracking, and they've wanted to reach out to someone but just haven't had the time or the confidence to do so, please contact me and my team. We are helping out so many individuals and families, especially in the pre-retirement space, making sure that we have enough money set aside to cover us and that we're taking care of our risk and also looking at it from a tax perspective. If you are in pre-retirement and you've not talked to an advisor or you're unsatisfied with them, give me a call at my personal cell, which is 602-909-9048. Again, that's 602-909-9048. Reach out to my team and I, especially if we're thinking about retiring soon here in the future. Let's just make sure we help you put a plan in place, or at the very least, educate you on where you're at today.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I think for most people, they don't know who to turn to. And like you said, well, I either don't have anybody, or I started with this guy, 10 or 15 years ago, and everything seemed to be great, and then all of a sudden I lost a whole big chunk of money, and they just kind of accept that, and that should never happen. If you're working with good financial advisors, you should never lose that type of money without having contact and communication with your financial advisor.
Yeah, 100%. There always needs to be communications between you and your advisor, and especially when the account goes down like that, they need to be reaching out to you to make sure everything's okay. And what a lot of people assume is, I worked with one guy, the rest are going to be just like him. I had a bad experience. The rest are going to be bad experience as well, and I want to emphasize to you, we do things differently here. We put up way more work up front for our clients than any other advisor or firm you will talk to. In terms of connecting you to CPAs, lawyers, attorneys, helping you fix your 401k accounts and restructuring those, all of those things you don't pay for. You'll never get a check for our time, and at the very least, get some clarity on your current situation, where you're at, and along the way we'll introduce you to a couple of solutions you can implement to make your plan even stronger for where you want to be. But yeah, don't let a past experience prevent you from having a great experience.
You know, last week, I think it was last week, maybe the week before when you were on, it was right before the Fed hiked or went on the pause, but you had told everybody, hey, don't be fooled here. Northwestern Mutual, our stance is still the same. Rates are going to go higher, and that's exactly what Jay Powell has been saying ever since the pause. Hey, we're not done. We're going to continue to raise rates, and that's going to mean that people's portfolios are going to need to be adjusted as these rates continue to climb higher, and the chances for more rough waters ahead are pretty significant.
Yep, we could easily see the interest rates continue to hike, more crazy waters for us to navigate, which makes me want to emphasize to everyone, if all of our money's locked up in the stock market, we need to find some other solutions to hedge against it. Will the market be back in 5 years? Yes. Will we be back on track? Yes. But when you retire, that is 30 years of time that you need to be able to battle down markets. And if you're not set up with other ways or ways you can withdraw those dollars without selling at a loss in times like this, then you're not in the position that you should be in. And we need to help you, get you in the place that you can battle times like this for today and in the future, because markets like this are going to happen again. There are going to be down markets when you retire. Let's make sure we strategically set you up so when things like this happen, you're not staying awake up at night wondering how you're going to get these dollars month to month.
Yeah, that's a great point when talking about it. And a lot of people, I get it. Hey, this is what I've done. I've been a good saver. I've been maxing my 401k. I was fortunate that maybe I only worked for one or two companies the whole time, and I didn't get laid off. I didn't get caught on the housing crash. I didn't have to withdraw from my 401k to pay my bills, and I've got this large pool of money as I'm getting ready to retire. But all of it's in Wall Street. That's a dangerous, dangerous place to be.
It's a dangerous bet to have all your money connected to it. If you have a ton of assets, you might be okay. But for people who rely on those dollars and work their butts off for them, hey, let's make sure that you're saving every penny you worked your butt off for, and that we're also growing these dollars. And we're doing it from a tax-efficient perspective. Every advisor can grow your wealth. But are they taking a look at how things are taxed? We're saving clients on average 3% by just reallocating their entire portfolio into tax-efficient vehicles. And that's before we get our returns year over year.
Yeah, that adds up. That adds up huge. Joey, one last time, because I know you got another meeting to get to. Just how do people get a hold of you? How do they reach out? How can they say, hey, Joey, check me out. Here's my stuff. Give me an update. How am I doing? Where am I at? Am I set up in my 401k right? Am I set up tax efficiently? How can I not be so vulnerable to Wall Street? How do they do that? How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, it's very simple to get a hold of me. You just got to reach me at my personal cell, which is 602-909-9048. Again, 602-909-9048. You can also email me at joey.jaquint@N as in Nancy, M as in mom.com. And let's connect. Let's have a conversation and get a rundown on where you're at. And from there, we'll implement some times for us to come together and help you put a plan in place so that we can be on track for what we want to achieve. But always fun coming on the show. Thanks for having me. And, Dad, I will be seeing you soon on Thursday.
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday, buddy. We're going to have a great time. We're going to go to a Cubs game. Cubs win! You know what? It's always exciting to do some fun things. And if you've got the right financial planner, you can do those fun things. I know that my wife and I were looking forward. We're going to go over 4th of July. We're going to go to a Cubs game. We're going to go to the NASCAR race in downtown Chicago. Joey's assured me, Jason, that he will only take us to places where we won't have to worry about getting shot up. So apparently, at least right now, unlike San Francisco and Chicago, there appears to be rules in place. Like, okay, listen, we won't go to your part of town, and you don't go to our part of town, and everyone seems to get along.
Yeah, I don't know Chicago that well, so I don't know what are the good areas, the bad areas. It seems like those areas are changing, aren't they? you might go during the changing of an area. Hey, this is a safe zone. Then you get there, it's like, oh, well, maybe it's not as safe as we thought it was. That's the thing about traveling. You gotta be prepared, I guess, right, Joe?
Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to go to one of those cities, you better know somebody that actually is in the city so you know where to be. So we're looking forward to that. But we've got a lot of ground to cover. We got gold and silver up very nicely right now. Gold's up 9, bumping here on 1930. Silver up about 55 cents here, just below $23. And we had some economic data out, manufacturing data out of Texas, which was not very good. So another one of those weaker data points. By the way, good luck to everybody in Texas. I hope the power, well, I don't know. Do you want the power to stay on or not? Apparently this week is going to be the worst of it. The temperatures going to be well over 100+ degrees in all the major cities in Texas. And Jason, they're saying that, hey, we may not have enough power. So got to remember, now one of the things that is interesting about Texas, they disconnected from the grid. So because they didn't want to deal with all the federal stuff, they can't buy power from other states. So this is kind of why, which I didn't know, but this is kind of why every summer now we hear problems with Texas. That's one of the issues. They can't buy power from a neighboring state that maybe the weather isn't as hot. But if the power stays on, but all of a sudden you're paying triple the amount you are for power, that could be an expensive problem.
I find it hard to believe that they're having the problem to begin with. You know, I mean, aren't these isn't this specifically what somebody running the power in Texas should be thinking about, like in every part of the year? So I get it, things can go wrong, but I mean, this doesn't seem like the weather is such an emergency that it's completely intolerable. It's not like a hurricane blew through there or an earthquake shattered Texas. This is just hot. It seems like this is something you should prepare for. So something's wrong. How about this? There's something wrong, even if they are independent.
It happens one year. You would think the logical, hey, maybe we need to increase the power capacity so it doesn't happen. It seems like every year, right? We go through this and through. And again, I'm almost certain it has to do with green energy, right? We don't want you adding to the natural gas plant, right? We don't want you adding to the plant that runs on oil or whatever it may be. Instead, we want to build more solar panels or something.
Maybe someone should suggest putting another nuclear facility there or something, just get the power up, right?
Get the power up, right? Hey, I don't know.
Maybe there's an investment opportunity there for somebody, right? Maybe a private company could come in there and, hey, we're going to juice this place up, whether you're going to buy it or not. And you just sit there. Here's the thing. If you have something and it's all juiced up, ready to go, and the government's pushing back on you, at some point when they run out of power, like right now, they'll come running, right? Add it.
Well, when we get back, soaring beef prices and now pork producers. An interesting dilemma is now occurring. Should they, instead of feeding their hogs corn, should they just sell the corn and get rid of the hogs? We're going to talk about this. This is what happens in hyperinflated economies. We're going to talk about that next when we return.